And yeah, all right, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on to all my sports peeps out there? It's your favorite sports podcast. But
No
if you
way.
don't know the name, let me put you on game. It's the Zone Sports Podcast. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. I'm one half of your host, your boy Big V, here with the other half of the show, other half of the host of the show, my
Yeah.
guy. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Let us
Yeah.
know who you be, my G.
It's your boy COOL, wondering what the hell is your boy Corey, never telling the same old time story. Your boy Cool C, never, ever, and I mean ever, dated a floozy. It's all y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Long time ago. Long time ago. Yo, for those out there, YouTube man, we got to sign out for y'all back. Your boy Corey, Big Vito. What's going on, man?
Man, bro, ain't much going on. It's been a slow week in sports, man. I ain't shit popping hardly. You know what I mean? But we got some shit to get into. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into some shit like Larsa Pippen. You feel me? But anyway, we're going to keep it going. You know, let me know who we sponsored by. We sponsored by my brand, Skyzone.Society. Make sure you shop at Skyzone.Society.bigcartel.com. You heard? You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that be tuning in to the Zone Sports Podcast, whether you're catching the clips or the shorts on YouTube or you're watching the whole thing. You know what I mean? You catch it on Instagram, on our stories, Twitter, however you're catching it, we'll pause. We'll appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate it. Corey, you know what I mean? Like I said before, it's been a slow week in sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, you know, we got to keep it going for our people. After it's always like this in between basketball ending and football beginning. It's always slow. Of course, we got the MLB. Shout out to the Yankees doing all they can. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Ohtani out here doing what he's doing, man. I mean, is he a clear winner for MVP or what, Corey?
Man,
He
should be. I mean, listen, I don't get into baseball this early. And there's really no point for me this year because my Oakland Athletics stunk, even though they somehow managed to beat y'all the other night. I don't know what that was about, but it don't matter.
We
stink. Yeah, I don't. But let's get back to Shohei Ohtani. That guy, man. Hey, I'm telling you, that guy. He's at the point now, Big V, and I'm getting late. If he's on TV, I'm watching.
Absolutely.
The way that he does, and the bat the way he does, like. This guy, he's something special.
We'll never see nothing like him again in this generation, ever. Like, ever. Like, Corey, when we was kids, man, and, you know, me and you, we both play a little baseball, but and we both watch baseball, how, you know, we're not much as, you know, we have all our lives with basketball and football. I can speak for myself. But I did watch more baseball in the 90s. Yes. And the thing was with baseball, Corey, you never fear the pitcher taking you out the park, ever. It was unheard of for a pitcher to even hit a homer because most pitchers back then, you know what I mean, would get a sub, you know.
That's right.
You know, for them to hit pinch hitter, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's exactly right.
And, you know, just to protect themselves. That was almost like the quarterbacks.
That's right.
Of the team. You know, you had to protect their arm and their well-being because some people would take it out on the pitcher and try to hit the pitcher and things like that. So that was like, nah, we're not having that. We'll get you a pinch hitter. You know what I mean? And you know, so to see Ohtani be a pitcher and a home run hitter.
A home run hitter, Big V.
I mean, a threat both ways, a threat, Corey.
Yes.
It is unreal. Corey, he could almost win MVP every season if he wanted to.
Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like baseball, you're right about that whole baseball deal because baseball was my first love. Like the first sport I was ever into, whether it was people playing it recreationally or watching it, was baseball. Like, I mean, like, again, we talked about this in the past where I grew up, you know, going to the Kinston Indians, that name that they were at the time, minor league baseball. Yep. So we used to go every Friday that they had them, and I just had a love for baseball. My first cards that I used to trade was baseball cards.
That's a fact.
Baseball cards. You know, all that.
One
of my first video games, maybe outside of Tecmo Bowl, was baseball from Nintendo. I
base loaded
all day. So yeah, you're right. Baseball was my first love, or whatnot. And you know, shout out to Shohei, man. It's gonna be something tough to see somebody like this again. And I don't know if we ever will.
And it's crazy you said it because you know, baseball ran in my family. My mom tried to put me in it. I hated it.
Yeah.
But I always loved to play it in some form of fashion, whether it be outside, you know, round the way, you know, with the friends and all the kids, or on video games.
Yep, and used to have rec leagues all around Kinston that used to have it at you know, at Emmerwell Park and all that stuff. My mom used to be in one of those. So I mean, baseball was it.
I mean, even down to the video games, I play RBI baseball, bases loaded.
Yep.
Tommy Lasorda. You feel me? Like all that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Shout out to old Tiny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, hey man. But you know, I got a feeling, Corey, we're not gonna be giving any shout outs on this What the Hell segment. Ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all peeping how we be transitioning. That's called getting seasoned. You know what I mean? This is episode 75. You know what I'm saying? We getting a little seasoned. We still rough. We're going to keep the rough edges because that's what make the show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, I don't think nobody, I got a feeling that nobody's going to be getting a great shout out on this What the Hell segment, man. Corey, who is it brought to us by, though?
Man, it's brought to you by me. Solo debut album. I'm out here. Quadruple platinum, double diamond, Big V. We going out here. It was envisioned by the big homie, Big Vito, and it is co-sponsored by my baby girl downstairs who hate milk bottles all of a sudden. That's who it is brought to you by. And Big V, man, I just talked about how last week, some of them, you know, you got to kind of struggle to look for some. Some of them, man, they just fall from the sky. And Big V, you're right about this being a slow time of the year for sports.
Yes.
And, you know, we've been spoiled from a sports standpoint by the past couple of years, as with COVID, where the NBA season ran longer into like the middle of July. And then I think at one point it ran like into like, you know, October with the 2020. So we've been spoiled the past couple of years, but now everything is kind of back on schedule. So you're about to have this dead time. And Big V, when people have dead time, you know, ain't really too much to talk about. They talk about a whole lot, Big V. And Big V, this What the Hell recipient is no different. Big V, I would like to preface this OG by saying he is definitely one of the greats.
Okay.
Has multiple championships. He hails as an NBA Hall of Famer. He hails as a top 75 player of all time. He hails as this guy, man, I'm telling you, I would almost break somebody's kneecaps to hang out with him and to have a beer with him, Big V. Big V, the man, the myth, the legend, goes to Dennis Rodman. Big V.
Oh, man.
He's an OG. And I'm always show respect. I'm not going to go all the way in like I probably should. Because this is, again, you know, this was brought to you by, well, this reported by Bleacher Report, but the original interview showed up on one of my great favorite interviewers of all time, Vlad, on YouTube.
Oh,
man. Who be having 48 parts to one interview. Shout out to Vlad, the big homie. I don't know how Vlad gets all of these people. I don't know, but he is truly a worker, and he gets it done. Big V. Dennis Rodman ain't much of a Larry Bird fan. He's not. You know, Big V, let me scroll down a bit here. I want to make sure I get my stuff accurate. This is coming from BleacherReport.com. So back in 1987, Dennis Rodman, and I quote, he stated that, you know, Larry Bird, only reason he really gets the accolades that he does is because he's a white player.
Yep.
That's the only reason, Big V. Yep. Now I want to be clear, because this is still the big homie. Now, Dennis Rodman later clarified and said, you know what, man, when I said that back in the day,
right,
I was just mad, man. This guy was giving me the business pause. Like, he was giving me that. It ain't really mean. It's just something I said out of anger. I said it out of hatred. It just came out like that.
Right.
That was back in 1987, Big V. So let's fast forward to 2020. 23. And I quote, Dennis Rodman was asked, how would Larry Bird be if he was in today's NBA? Dennis Rodman say, hey, Larry Bird wouldn't even be here in today's NBA. He would be playing overseas in Europe. Now, time out. Now, he also went so far as to say that the Joker is a better basketball player than Larry Bird. He said that. Now, am I willing to hear you out on that without totally smacking you in the bottom of your eye, Big V? Yeah, at worst, it's a premature statement to make. Who knows? We don't know. But Big V, if you want to argue that, let's argue that. But now, wait a minute now. Larry Bird wouldn't be in today's NBA?
Today's.
Oh, I totally disagree. The game is made for a player like Larry Bird today. Larry Bird needed at best a dribble and maybe and a half to get a shot off. He could create his own shots. And we all love the three, Big V. That's exactly what this is. You could damn near argue that Dennis Rodman, if you had to compare between him and Larry Bird, and I'm only saying these two, which one would have a harder time in the NBA from a value standpoint, you could argue, but salute to Draymond Green, you could argue between Dennis Rodman and Larry Bird. It would probably be more so Dennis Rodman than it would be Larry Bird. Chicks did the long ball, Big V. The Larry Bird, at worst, he would need 2 dribbles to get a shot off and to make you eat dirt. Let me quote some stats. And this is from when they played. They said a Bird played 15 regular season games against Rodman during his entire career, averaging 24.7 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. But wait, it gets even better. During those 18 playoff contests, Larry Bird still averaged 20.9 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 6.2 assists on plays that Dennis Rodman was guarding him on. Okay, got it. Now, on Dennis Rodman's side, Dennis Rodman averaged 10 points, not bad, 9.5 rebounds. Again, he's the rebound king, and 1.3 assists. But oh gosh, dog, when they hit postseason, though, it got worse. Rodman against Larry Bird only got 6 points, 4.4 rebounds, and not even 1 assist going against Larry Bird in the 15 times that they matched up, Big V. Look, man, I give you back in 1987. I was 6 years old, Big V. I don't remember none of that stuff there. I catch this on 30 for 30s. But now, we're talking about 2023.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman. What the hell are you talking? Wait a minute. Because I'm still stuck on him basically saying he wouldn't be in the NBA. Not that he's coming off the bench, right? Not that he'll only get 2 or 3 minutes of playing time. This man said he will be playing overseas in Europe. What the hell are you talking about? Dennis Rodman, what the hell? I ain't got nothing else for this guy. This, you still my OG. I respect you, brother.
Yes.
But you sound ridiculously stupid right now. But salute.
I gotta agree. I mean, salute to Dennis Rodman, but what the hell are you talking about? You saying that this man will be playing in Europe within today's NBA when the game is designed specifically for somebody like Larry Bird, who, by the way, was what, 6'7" or so, you know what I mean, and did nothing but shoot the three, you know what I mean? What are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
And he's saying that you know, it was the team that played. Let me read this real quick, and I'm sorry for going over a little bit. You know, he said that his game was a good fit for Boston at that times in the 80s. But in today's world, there's just no way. I'm not downplaying him because he's a great player at that time, just like I was. But I'm just saying no way. Well, hold on. But you're saying that the Joker is better than Larry Bird. Well, you could argue that the Denver team that just won this year's NBA Finals, you could argue from a talent standpoint that they had just as many pieces as Boston. You could argue that from a talent standpoint.
Absolutely. We talking Mikhail. We talking Mikhail. We talking DJ. You know what I mean? We talking Parrish. We talking Bird. You know what I mean? Gosh, I can't even think about who else was on that team.
It had a few that was loaded.
Bill Walton. They was loaded. They was
loaded, bro.
They was just as loaded for that time. Absolutely.
Cornbread Maxwell.
Yeah, that's I was trying to think about Maxwell. Absolutely, I was trying to think about Maxwell. Yeah, yep, I don't. Yeah, you talking stupid. I don't know, man. Salute to you, Dennis Rodman, but you gotta relax, yo. This game is made. This game was made for somebody like Larry Bird. Just think about this just for a second, and we'll move on. If players like Duncan Robinson are made for this game in the NBA, I know damn well Larry Bird is definitely made for this game. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Him and players like Dan Marley will be thriving. Please stop. It. Please stop it. Please stop it. You know what I mean? We're going to keep it NBA. Bro, you know, this is actually an all NBA pod. I'm just going to let y'all know, by the way. So if you don't like NBA, you might want to turn this off, you know what I mean? But this is an all NBA pod today. You know what I mean? It's all NBA because you know what? We got to talk about the Chris Paul trade, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. We are here. If you've been under a rock, ladies and gentlemen of the Zone Sports Podcast, Chris Paul is now a Golden State Warrior. You know what I mean? Him and the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors, and I think one more team was involved in the three-team deal. You know what I mean? They got rid of Chris Paul doing business in Phoenix.
Yep. And
now he will be doing business alongside Steph Curry. You know what I mean? And Klay Thompson. And a possible in big caps, Draymond Green. But we don't know. Corey, I gotta ask you. Is this a good fit? Pause.
I think
for Chris Paul and the Warriors, man.
I think it can be. I think, and I say the word think because currently, as of this recording at July 28, 6:30, Draymond Green is a free agent. Now, I think he's going to come back.
Okay.
So I think that it can be a good fit, assuming that he's with the second unit. Or whatnot. I don't know. A lot of cats been talking about since this happened that, you know, Chris Paul always started and he would have a problem coming off the bench. I never got that. I know Russell Westbrook, you know, he's just not an off the bench type of guy. I don't see Chris Paul in this point in time in his career really pitching a fit about coming off the bench to do the second unit. Because if he's in there with the first unit, I don't really see how it works too much because Steph's going to have the ball, even though he don't always need the ball, but he still kind of, you know, assuming that Draymond comes back, you know, Draymond for all practical purposes set up the offense and run point, but then you got the floor general and Chris Paul. That's what he does. So I say the word think, assuming that this fit is going to be good with him coming off the bench. Now, he got a partially guaranteed contract, whereas the out of the $30.8 million, 25 of it is only guaranteed. I'm assuming the rest are incentives. I had no idea. And then next year, you know, would be totally non-guarantees. In other words, I'm thinking this is just a 1-year deal just to see what kind of happens. But I think if he's in there with the second unit, I do think it could be a good deal. You pay someone $30 million to be on the second team, I don't know. The Lakers did it, but I don't know how smart it was that we did that either. But in that scenario, I think it can work.
Corey, I couldn't disagree with you more, man. I could not disagree with you more, Corey. You know what? I agree with you on one part. The think in capital letters part. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. The zoners the zoners of the world. Listen, I think people forget. Draymond has been on record saying he don't fuck with Chris Paul. I think people forget about that. He is on record, it's literally saying out of his mouth, "Yo, I don't fuck with CP." So this trade. It's kind of confusing because it kind of let me know that maybe Draymond may not be coming back. Because I'm telling you now, Draymond, and I'm telling this is recent. This is recent, maybe not this year, but in the past 4 years, he's been on record saying, "I do not fuck with Chris Paul." So it's either, and then it's funny because, you know, he hit the trade market, you know what I mean? non-restricted. He can do whatever he want to do. You know what I mean? Opted out of $27 whatever million for a season. Crazy. So that lets me know that maybe he has something where he knows he's about to get a good 40 to 60 somewhere. Cool. But I'm telling you, man, him being on record saying that how he said it and them bringing in Chris Paul, it lets me know that Draymond probably is gone. He's probably gone. That's why I said maybe him. I don't know. You know what I mean? If so, I think if Draymond is gone, I think they start him, Corey. I think they start him.
Yeah, I think they start him too if he's gone. And you know, speaking of the beef, I didn't know that there was something going on between, or at least was something going on between him and Draymond. But there was also rumors that something was going on between him and Steph Curry. I think it was one game where Chris Paul and Steph Curry was getting into it, and Steph Curry did that whole 4 championships, putting up at the banners and all that stuff at Chris Paul. Since then, Steph Curry has played it down and said, "Oh man, it's just a rivalry, man. You know, no big deal. The whole North Carolina thing, you know, both from North Carolina, you know." So I mean, you know, I don't know.
You know, that's funny too, because I could maybe see them putting that to the side, but I don't think Draymond is that mature enough to park his hate towards Chris Paul.
Yeah, I didn't know that about him and Draymond Green.
Oh yeah, it's definitely documented. You know, he wants nothing to do with Chris Paul. I mean, maybe things can change. I don't know, but this is my opinion today here on June. What is 28th? Yeah. I don't see it working between them two. You know what I mean? You got Draymond knocking niggas out and getting them shipped out. You know what I mean? Oh no.
And they're both alphas, Big V.
And that's what I'm getting ready to say. You know, CP, you know what I mean? He gonna do what he do. CP ain't backing down. You feel me? So I don't like it. I don't like it. I am glad he didn't come to the Lakers. I salute to Rob Pelinka on not making that happen. You know what I mean?
A lot of cats talking. I'm like, that's about that would have worked good back in, like, you know, back when Kobe was there. When we got through,
we missed it
by now deceased RIP to David Stern.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, salute to Chris Paul getting another bag. North Carolina's on. You feel me? Of course, I'm gonna salute that. But I don't see it working if Draymond stays. Just don't. Yeah. You know, Corey, I was sitting in the crib, man, and I was watching the draft. And this will spark this next topic, right?
A hell of a topic. Good topic.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we got, this is a dope topic, and I think y'all are going to appreciate this, all the basketball lovers around the world. We want to talk about our favorite college basketball players who didn't quite pan out in the NBA. Corey, it's a lot. I mean, this list, and salute and this is no slight on the people we're going to talk about, because these people are legends. These people are legends in our heart and in our books, and they are, legends in the collegiate world, but they just didn't quite pan out to what we thought they were going to be in college. I mean, in the pros, Corey. They might have went on and did something else greater, and that was maybe a greater good for the world. You know what I mean? And salute to that. Or they might have went overseas and played ball and made a hell of a career over there. You know what I mean? Corey, who is your player that you want to talk about?
Man, oh man. First of all, let me go ahead and speak my bias towards the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay.
And my player is definitely going to come from that. This player was drafted in the NBA back in 2016. He was the guy who, tied us up against Villanova in the national championship game before Villanova hit that last second three. Big V, the gentleman that I'm speaking of, is Marcus Page from the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Oh, legend. What a legend. I love you, Marcus.
Yes, this was a guy. And let me reiterate what Big V just said. This is not a shock. This is actually the opposite, where it's just like, man.
Yes, we're paying homage. We're paying homage.
And for whatever reason, it just didn't pan out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Big V, Marcus Page, when you look at his stats just on paper when he was a Tar Heel, they don't really jump out at you like that. Like, his freshman year, he only averaged 8.5 points. But, again, you ain't going to really get with so much burn under Roy Williams' system your freshman year like that. So, okay, you let that one live. But, boy, that sophomore season, he averaged almost 18 points a game, Big V. You know what I'm saying? Shooting like 45% from the field. You know what I'm saying? Shooting like 40 from the three-point line. Like, I mean, this was it. You know what I'm saying? He hit the junior. He dipped back down. He dipped about 14 points a game. But he was still shooting 40 from the field, and still shooting like 37, 38 from three. And in the senior year, he went down there, but he was still an important player.
Absolutely.
And he's only 6 foot, so I think that may have played a part of it. He's a guy where he played for the Greensboro Swarm, which is the Charlotte Hornets affiliate. He actually played for a couple of affiliates or whatnot.
Okay.
So let me kind of run this down a little bit real quick, Big V.
Okay.
He stayed for all 4 years at Carolina. Again, he was drafted during the 2016 draft, second round, 55th overall pick. In 2016, 2017, he played for the Salt Lake City Stars. So basically, how that kind of came to play was that he was drafted by the Brooklyn Nets, right? But then he was basically traded to the Utah Jazz the next day. So he signed with the Utah Jazz, but then he was waived on October the 13th. And started playing with some G League affiliates. He's just a guy who I feel just didn't get a shake. I get the height, but he's a shooter. And by that time, the NBA was a shooter's league at that point. He did play for the Hornets from 2017 to 2018, but it was on a two-way contract or whatnot. So he split that time with the Greensboro Swarm. On June, they would decline a qualifying offer to page, making him a free agent. And then he played a couple of years overseas. He actually is back at North Carolina as a director of player development for the Tar Heels right now.
Okay.
That happened back in April the 26th or whatever. But man, Big V, real quick, if that was ever a guy who I thought was at least going to make it in the NBA, even I've seen worse players. Again, I admit my bias. I think all Tar Heel players should make it because you could go to Sean May, you could go to Raymond Felton. Marvin Harrison, he had a good career or whatnot. But Marcus Page, I just thought that, man, I'm not necessarily saying he would have been Reggie Miller or Steph Curry, but I just thought that was a guy you're gonna see in the NBA for a good 10 years, and it didn't happen. I root for this guy though, man. I still do to this day.
Man, he was a god at Carolina. Salute to Marcus Page, dog. We love you. You are a legend in our book. You did work. We everything you didn't go unnoticed. We love you on this show, Marcus.
Absolutely.
Like you are a god. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like keep doing what you're doing, and just salute to your whole collegiate career and everything that you did for the Tar Heels. We salute and love you on this show, man.
Yep.
Corey, I want to take it back to the 90s on my pick.
Okay.
This guy, Corey, this guy used to take my breath away. Pause.
Yeah.
And this just for me, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. He was Steph Curry mixed with Mark Jackson for me.
Okay.
I want to talk about Randolph Childress, Corey.
Okay.
I want to talk about Randolph Childress. Absolutely. What Randolph, we love you on this show. Salute to everything that you did in college basketball.
Yeah, man.
Randolph Childress was a walking three, Corey. He could pull up from anywhere on the court. He was crazy with the handles.
Yeah.
He could pass the basketball. And if you don't know who he is, he was a very, very short, and I mean short, maybe at the most 6 feet, and that's probably a gentleman's 6 feet. You know what I mean? He was a very short point guard who played for Wake Forest.
Yeah,
and he would burn. He would, and I'm glad that you do, Corey, because we should remember him being the fact that he burnt our Tar Heels when Jerry Stackhouse and Rasheed Wallace played against him. He burnt our Tar. I want to read off a stat real quick. Yes, he was accompanied by Tim Duncan, and this who was a sophomore then. You know what I mean? And they won the title that year, Corey. He averaged 35.7 points and 7 assists per game in that tournament run, Corey. Mind you, Corey, he beat our UNC Tar Heels. And he beat us with 4 seconds left in overtime, Corey.
Mm.
And against who? You got it. The great Jeff McGinnis. You know what I mean? Salute to Jeff McGinnis. We love you on this show too. You know what I mean? But Corey, I want to tell you this though. What got me, Corey, was how he started, right? He started out making second team all ACC in 93. 94, 95, Corey, he was 2-time first team all ACC. Corey, he won the ACC Athlete of the Year in 95. And not to mention, Corey, he was consensus second team All-American in 95. Corey, I do not understand. He averaged 18 points a game in all 4 of his collegiate years, Corey.
Ooh.
95 is when he really broke out, though. He went on, he got drafted by the Pistons, played for a couple of seasons, then he took his talents overseas and did what he did. Yeah. He came back and was recently coaching as an assistant coach for Wake Forest, by the way.
Yep.
He recently told them that, you know, he probably gonna or did part ways with them. And he's well, I'm not gonna say he parted ways. He parted ways from the coaching staff, but he's looking for another coaching opportunity while still working with Wake Forest doing another job. You know what I mean? So I just want to, man, listen, you have YouTube. Go and look up Randolph Childress.
Yeah.
And you will see why I'm telling you, he was Steph Curry mixed with Mark Jackson
that
all
dude was
the way.
Cold, bro.
He was cold. He was a cold-blooded killer. You couldn't do nothing with him. Him and Tim Duncan on the same team was, man, listen, it was unfair. It was unfair, Corey.
Yeah.
It was unfair, man. He was crazy with it. Salute to Randolph Childress. They recently retired his jersey to a Wake Forest. Number 22.
Oh, good. Good. Yep. He deserves that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Salute to Randolph Childress, man, and everything that you're continuing to do. Salute to Marcus Page. All that, man. Yeah. All that, man. What? How about that, man? 2 ACC legends that we bought up, man. You know what I mean?
There it is.
Hey, man. Hey.
There you go. There you go.
I mean? Salute to everybody that be tuning into the show for this good sports talk. Salute to my guy Corey, 75 episodes in, baby. We here, you know what I'm saying? We still gonna keep doing this thing and just keep it going as much as we can, man. And we love the feedback. I love people calling my phone. I love everything, the private conversation. I love everything that comes along with it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And definitely we owe the success partial to you, Corey. You know what I mean? Salute to you, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you how Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock told me back in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Takes 2.
It takes 2. It takes 2, man. We'll be right back here next week with another episode of the Zone Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the Skyzone.Society network on YouTube, you know what I mean? And turn that bell on so you can get alerted every time I'm uploading something, for whether it be the sports podcast, rap music, you know what I mean? The gaming show. We got it all coming right here, pause, on the Skyzone.Society network, you know what I mean? And yes, we will be back with more Filthy on the way. Filthy season 3. Just want to put that out there. Filthy season 3. Hey, stay tuned. We got you, Corey.
About time.
You already. Hey.
About time.
Hey, man, I apologize. You know, I've been running. You know, we've been running around getting it together. Yeah, I've been running around doing music and all that, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
the natives are restless. The natives are restless, Big V, and I'm in charge of the council of the natives.
Okay. Hey,
restless.
Hey, I got y'all, man.
We know, man. We know you on tour. We got all that.
Hey, it's worth the wait. We got you. We got you, man. You know what I mean? Hey, y'all know how we end this thing every week. Y'all know how we do, right? Peace.